Welcome back, fight fans. In today's video, Israel Adesanya makes his next fight announcement. Nickal lost millions of dollars by not answering his phone. Anderson Silva and Chael Sonnen talk about what's next after their exhibition match. And Ilia Topuria thanks himself for everything he's done. We have all that and more in today's video, so don't be scared, homie. Knock out the like button, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification, and in the words of Big John McCarthy, let's get it all! It's official. Israel Adesanya will attempt to regain his middleweight crown from Dricus Du Plessis in the main event of UFC 305. For the first time in a while, the headliner news didn't come directly from the UFC, but from Adesanya himself. The last stylebender shared his own poster on Instagram to announce the fight, which will go down in Perth, Australia on August 17th. The poster shows Adesanya standing with his hands raised towards the sun, and the caption reads, "The sun of Africa is the sun that lights up our planet. The sun will set and will rise again until you walk into it. The sun, enjoy it while it lasts. Darkness falls when it's gone. Never stole shine, never lost mine." Adesanya hasn't fought since a decision loss to Sean Strickland in September of 2023 that cost him his title for the second time in 12 months. He has since optimized his entire training and nutrition process and has declared he's coming for heads as he puts a stamp on his legacy.
No, I mean, the stuff that you've been putting out, you've been putting in work.
Yeah, I am. I'm putting in work. But yeah, I just want to optimize myself a lot better than I was compared to how I used to live as an athlete. It's not even close to how I'm living as an athlete now.
Describe your morning, for example.
Now I have breakfast before I actually train. I have a small protein or carb-dense meal. And yeah, I have my shake after training. I have lunch and dinner now. So what I would do back in the day, I'd wake up, get to the gym, train, maybe once or twice, 2 trainings, and then I have breakfast. And I know that's not good apparently because you're burning other things as fuel sources that's not meant to be used as fuel sources. So yeah.
When people talk about, stones being unturned when it comes to preparation for training camp and whatnot, do you feel like training wise, you're hitting it right, but these are the stones that are left to be unturned in your preparation when it comes to the stuff that you just described? Nutrition, lifestyle?
Yeah, I guess nutrition mainly one of the main things. But again, it wasn't really bothering me and I was able to get away with it. So I was still performing at peak and better than everyone else. So if it ain't broke, don't try and fix it. It's just now, I'm about to be 35 next month and I realize, father time wins. You can't beat father time. So you have to optimize yourself, and yeah, I have been doing that now.
Can you describe some of the work that you've been doing with AB?
Pretty much, I guess you call it in rugby like a pre-season, so you get ready for the actual camp itself. Before, it was kind of like a little bit freestyle on my end. I'll just be training with the lads, so I'm still kind of in shape. Even if I fucked off somewhere and I came back and I wasn't in shape, it wouldn't take me too long to get in shape. But I'd rather be really diligent with the way I prepare for these fights, because yeah, you want to close the show nicely. Like I've already said, I'm past the halfway point. So the next few years, I just want to close the show nicely. We're doing just that so far.
You seem to be getting more scientific with your training and bringing some technology in. What was getting your base fitness tests done at the Sports Institute like?
Oh, good. I did it at the PI before, but I did it at the PI coming off the couch. Like, this was a better way to go into a test like that with some training in me. It was good though, just to see a baseline of where we're at, and then we'll test again in 6 weeks and then see where we're at then. Progression.
Prior to this announcement, DDP versus Adesanya at UFC 305 had become one of the worst kept secrets in the industry. Both Dricus and Izzy were teasing the date and matchup in various interviews over the past month, with DDP wondering why the UFC hadn't officially announced the bout yet. The cat really came out of the bag during a recent social media post from Dana White where he announced Conor McGregor's exit from UFC 303. Fans noticed the matchmaking board for UFC 305 was partially visible in the corner of the video, revealing Adesanya in the main event. Since the UFC rarely runs pay-per-views without a belt on the line, DDP was the obvious opponent. Now we have confirmation from one half of the fight, and all we have to wait for is the UFC's official announcement. who's ready for the return of Israel Adesanya? Undefeated middleweight Bo Nickal reveals the unique reason he couldn't accept a short notice replacement for UFC Saudi Arabia. In the hours between Khamzat Chimaev withdrawing from his upcoming UFC Saudi Arabia fight, the promotion contacted multiple stars to see if they were available to be a short notice replacement. Veteran manager Ali Abdelaziz claimed that the UFC had offered the short notice replacement spot to Kamaru Usman. However, the promotion also reached out to undefeated 6-0 prospect Bo Nickal. In the recent episode of the Nickals and Dimes podcast via his official YouTube channel, Nickal revealed that the UFC had called him to offer a crazy amount of money to step in against Whittaker, but he couldn't even answer the phone.
Bo, did you get a call to fly to Saudi Arabia on 10 days notice?
I did get a call. Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I got a call while I was in the mountains of Montana, and I didn't get back to cell service for 3 days. And so I came back into cell service to a few text messages saying, call me back. And it was too late. I was like, okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
I'm glad you were out of cell service.
I know, yeah. I'm like,
While Nickal refused to disclose how much money the UFC had offered him to step up on short notice against one of the best fighters in the entire division, he did note with a glimmer in his eye that they were up there.
and I'm not gonna like disclose numbers, but they were up there.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
But it was like, it was just too late. I couldn't even really consider it because they had already kind of figured everything out the way they were gonna do it because I was gone. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, it's
Ikram.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ikram. Yeah, Ikram's fighting. So I think it should be a good fight. I think Ikram will probably win.
Really?
I don't know. It depends on how ready he is and stuff. And I just think the style-wise that Ikram will probably win.
Nickal, who's been the target of more than a few insults from Chimaev down the years, understandably had a rather coy reaction to his withdrawal.
Yeah, that dude's losing his aura a bit.
Well, he hasn't fought in... All right, this is the thing that I do want to say. Like, obviously, Tom Chimaev. He's going to be your rival, and
He just needs to keep freaking winning and not doing this crap.
well, he needs to actually fight. He doesn't. He just needs to be able to step in the octagon.
Who was
you
his
know?
last fight? Wait. It wasn't Kevin Holland, was it?
It was Kevin Holland.
That was his last fight?
No. It was Usman.
Usman, yeah. He fought Usman. Yeah, that's right.
So he hasn't fought a real 185er
Ever.
yet.
No.
And like, granted, he's sick. Can't do anything about an illness or anything, but
Good.
will not get sick. That would be a good solution.
That's what I do. Just don't get sick.
But yeah, I mean, he said that you can't wrestle, but at least you can wrestle currently right now is the big thing.
I'm not in a hospital, so
Yeah.
I can. Yeah,
He
technically.
can.
I think he's probably overtraining. So he gets sick
Well,
a lot.
I don't think he's over training. I think he's over partying.
think?
You think that he's
I
a
don't
partier?
know. Probably. I don't know. What else would it be? Like,
I think he's overtraining. Like, just from seeing his stuff, I think he just like goes crazy and gets super run down, and then gets like, cause he's gotten like sick bad like this before a fight.
I've just heard rumors about like him and Till and stuff, like crazy stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
I don't know either.
Anderson Silva reveals that his boxing match with Chael Sonnen disallowed knockouts. Silva and Sonnen shared the boxing ring this past Saturday night in Brazil, and the bout ended in a draw. Silva didn't appear to look nearly as aggressive as he was with his bouts with Tito Ortiz and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., and there might be a good reason for it. The Spider versus the American Gangster was an exhibition matchup, and it appears the two were urged not to go for power shots. Speaking to media members after the fight, Silva explained that given the circumstances, he feels that both he and Sonnen put on an entertaining bout. Anderson went on to say it was an exhibition match, and as an exhibition match, it wasn't allowed knockouts. It was a match with no winner. It was an exhibition, and I believe we put on a good show. Silva will be ditching the exhibitions for another pro boxing bout in the very near future, and he's hoping to get a deal done soon. Silva said, I have a boxing match in Dubai that isn't an exhibition. There's no date yet, we're negotiating, and I can't say who the opponent is yet, or my manager will kill me because the contract is in secrecy. It's another big challenge in my life, a big challenge indeed. During his post-fight press conference, Chael Sonnen told media members that Jorge Masvidal would be wise to leave his name out of his mouth unless he truly wants to fight.
What's next for you? Somebody else? Well, this whole thing was just part of the process. I'm boxing Jorge Masvidal. I got called out for that fight. I have agreed to that fight. This was all part of the training process. And I learned some stuff tonight, man. Anderson, when he gets going, he tricked me a number of times. And I do not like to get tricked in there. I like to see that stuff coming. But, I mean, he would move one way and hit you with the other. He'd show you the right hand and then hit you with the left. He was very tricky and he was very fast. And I only say that because the guy's the better part of 50. Like, if he is tricking me to the point that he can get some of those hands on me, I'm going to have to respect Jorge Masvidal a little bit more than I wanted to.
And how do you feel like Masvidal is 10 years younger than Anderson?
Yeah.
How do you feel this challenge against you?
Yeah, I fully agree with that. I mean, Masvidal is also smaller. Masvidal's a little bit overrated. I mean, in all fairness, within his own mind, I can't remember the last time that he won a fight. He gave me a threat. He said, I won't even use my right hand. I'll put that in the contract. I'm like, okay, stupid, put that in the contract. I didn't ask for that, but go ahead and put that in there. Then he talked about, I'm going to pay you $10 million. Like, well, I didn't ask for $10 million, but again, stupid, put that in the contract. Like, I mean, just keep talking. Like, it just keeps getting worse for Jorge Masvidal. And, yeah, man, there's some people you play with, there's some people you don't. Put me in the category of don't. Do not challenge me unless you want to fight me.
It's been a long, hard road to the top, filled with twists and turns and unseen obstacles. And Ilia Topuria would like to thank the one person who was instrumental in getting him there. Him, Ilia Topuria. The UFC featherweight champion wrote a glowing love letter to himself on Instagram, and we gotta say this isn't gonna help his reputation amongst critics who think that El Matador is a little full of himself for someone who hasn't defended their belt yet. Ilia took to his Instagram and he wrote, "Today, I want to express my gratitude to this person for providing me with everything I have, for supporting me to withstand any circumstance, and for never losing faith in God and in the attraction of all good things to me. Always relying on me and giving me the life I now enjoy. I want to thank myself for all the times I've respected myself, loved myself, forgiven myself. Long live the matador that lives inside of me." Now, in fairness, Topuria has good reason to be proud. He did what many of the best featherweights in the world tried to do but failed, and that was beating Alexander Volkanovski via a violent knockout. That was back in February, and we're still waiting for news on when the German-born Georgian fighter will compete again. Will it be a rematch against Volk, or will it be Max Holloway after Holloway stole the show at UFC 300? Either fight will be a tough time for the rising star, who's been embraced wholeheartedly by Spanish football royalty. Fortunately, he has Ilia Topuria to rely on, and that's all he needs to be successful, even against the toughest of all odds. Now let's take a look at the top 3 comments left on yesterday's video. Jason says, "Alex is the real deal and fast forward for all the time missed. Replaced a John Jones fight, now replacing a Conor McGregor fight. He's a true warrior and soon to be GOAT." At Wagentish, I think is the name, says, "Conor's misrepresenting the facts. Conor's always slightly injured. The quote, 'I'm injured' story is a smokescreen to cover up the fact that Conor's been juicing heavy for the past 3 years and now he has a huge problem with testing." At Arkham Raised says, "Not surprised that Conor isn't fighting Chandler. What I'm surprised by though is how many times Alex has stepped up to save Dana this year. Now I'm a believer. Hashtag Shama." If you want your comments highlighted on tomorrow's video, simply comment down below. We'll highlight the top best comments, good, bad, or indifferent, and feature them in tomorrow's video. And that does it for today's video, but make sure you're liking this video, subscribing to this channel, and clicking the bell notification so you can get notified every time we drop a new video. And in case you missed it, check out yesterday's news.